Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 1 versus 1 on 2 ways, and I'm going to be playing with the 11E Division Parachustiste. I'm going to be up against GenRa, who's playing with the 35th Guards Air Assault Brigade. Yep, that's right, we've just done the old switcheroo. This is game 2 of round 3 of the WARNO League Season 0 Division 2. And if you missed the first game that I played against GenRa, go and watch it now. It was an absolute banger. Like, no lie, it's probably one of the most intense and fun games of WARNO that I'd played in a long time. Now we're going at it again. This time we switched completely. And I'm playing the 11E against his 35th. And the reason that I did this was because from the last game I was like, working out in my head that in fact the 11E is probably the perfect counter to the 35th, because the 35th doesn't really have very good AA, so you can really exploit the air hard as long as you deal with the MiGs. So that was my plan in this game. The other thing was I wanted to get my own back. I wanted to do exactly what he did to me to him. So I've got these AML 90 Lynxes going to the edge of the map, and then they're going to drive up the edge of the map here and take out his commands. Yes, that's right, we're going to return the favour. Meanwhile, I've got a push coming up on the left here. I've got the Sapper Para, I've got Group Antichar, and I've got the Legionnaire Para. My Sapper Para have the flamethrowers. I've also got a VRA 50 here, which is the 50 cal VRA with the Sapper or the, Para SAS. I also brought up a Mirage F1C at the start. I spotted some units on the right hand, or some helicopters on the right hand side, so I'm going to be microing this F1C to try and shoot those down. So there's 3 helicopters that I saw, and this is just easy pickings for my F1C. So an MiG-24V, he's going to land them though, so I'm not able to target. Very, very nicely done. Meanwhile, on the left hand side, my vehicles are going to suicide straight into the town, just like his are on the right. So I'm zooming in here. He's got a Desantner's Vertigo killing them. I could have unloaded them already, but I just wasn't paying attention because we were both microing our aircraft. My Mirage F1C goes down to his MiG-29, and I don't manage to get both of the Mi-24s on the left, so I'm in a really bad spot. He actually managed to unload his infantry in time. Meanwhile, on the left, I did not. Mirage F1CT though, coming in with the bomb, being pretty clutch there, catching a couple of his infantry squads. And now the Mirage, or the MiG-29 coming in to hunt it down. Fortunately missing. The Mirage F1CT does have some decent ECM, but yeah, this hasn't gone so well, has it? The left side got completely trashed. I did bring up the mortars again to do a smoke play into there, but I'd accidentally just given them a fast move order into the town rather than an unload at position command into the town. Or at least the unload at position command I'd put in had been too far back. Not good. Anyway, his MiG-29. I wait for the prime moment when I'm able to shoot one down. I'm happy that I traded an F1C for a MiG-29. That's a fair trade for me, because he's going to have like a maximum of 4 of those MiG-29s, so I can count one down, whilst I have a very, very strong air tab still. But his Mi-24s did shoot down my aircraft because they were facing the right way with their AA missiles, so yeah, unfortunate. Anyway, I'm in a pretty terrible position, other than my AML-90s. My AML-90s managing to sneak up here, which is nice, but he hasn't brought any commands yet, so there's nothing for them to shoot at. And yeah, the AML-90s are holding the line. It's as simple as that. My Legionnaire Para also got a decent position in the middle house. The only thing I've really got to do now is just try and take back Alpha, or at least, you know, try and stop him from getting in a really good position here. On this left hand side, I actually turn off the gun so it doesn't fire at that UAZ, so we don't reveal it. Yeah, it's very tense at this point, because I'm thinking, I just wasted so much stuff in this town. Like, I didn't unload a single one of these units before they got killed. That was really bad play from me. And on the right hand side, meanwhile, his Spetsnaz have managed to get into this town, which is exactly the way that I beat him in the previous game. So I'm not in a good spot. He's also brought up an MI8. He's being real cheeky, you know. We're doing exactly the same thing to each other. He's brought in a supply to resupply Spetsnaz so he can win the infantry engagement in the town here. And yeah, it's... meanwhile, I'm running around in his backline with AML-90s. It's literally like the mirror match. Or the exact mirror of the first game. I brought in a CV on Golf, so I technically have the +2. I've also got a P4 PC now coming into Charlie. And I'm going to have a Mistral hanging out with that so that his helicopters can't come over and attack it. I've also got a Pamela coming to the right-hand side with those Mistrals. And I've got another AMX-90 Lynx. I've got the Pala SES and I've got Legionnaire Pala. So the Pala SES, they are a recon squad, but they are probably one of the best close-range infantry that you have if you can get them close enough. UAZ SPG-9. Probably using something he learned off me in the last game. I don't know if he learned that off me, but either way, I knew before the game, in the last game, that the SPG-9s take out AMXs or anything really at close range because they can aim really fast. So he's going to take advantage of that on me in this time around. Meanwhile, BMP-1P going to be trying to push forwards, get some recon information. I'm going to use my AML-90 Lynx to pop that. It's just a matter of like covering all bases. His Mi-24s are just chilling on this right hand side. I was really hoping that I can get my VLRA into position to shoot those down. Also got a Mirage F1C, just bought that. And I'm thinking how I can approach this without him being able to use those AA helicopters to actually shoot down my Mirage F1C. Anyway, the 50 cal is going to be shooting at the Mi-24. Unfortunately, the one Mistral that fired missed. But it gives my Mirage F1C a chance to get in here and do a little bit of damage. Didn't manage to shoot one down though because I changed the target at the last minute. I'm going to bring in the Mirage F1CT as well to have a go. And I at least managed to take down one of them. Now this Mirage F1 coming across. Going to go for the second one. And he's probably trying at this point to try and land that. But I didn't let him get away with it this time. So take out both of those Mi-24s. Don't lose a helicopter. And the VLRA Pamela actually managed to stay alive. I did lose the Pala SAS, but that's okay. I will be happy with that trade. Meanwhile, this Mirage F1C going to be able to find the Mi-2 as well. Takes a nice knock into the side of a mountain there, but we'll ignore that. Okay, moving on. The UAZ here going to be bringing in a unit of some sort. I see it, and I right-click it fast enough. So my Mirage F1C actually comes in with a strafing run and takes it out. Now I was really hoping at the time that that was a command. I'm going to reveal that it wasn't. It was in fact a Superior RPO, so sad times. Anyway, coming back over now for another go at this Mi-2, and I'm going to be doing a runner away from the MiG-29, as I do not want that to get taken out. My Mirage F1C that is, but what I am going to do is invest in another Mirage F1C and a Mirage 2000C to double team his MiG-29, because as I mentioned before, if I can take out the MiG-29s, I win the game pretty much. If I can dominate the air, like it's a big deal. So shoot down another MiG-29. That's going to be the second MiG-29 taken care of. Meanwhile, my AML-90 here has a BRDM drive straight past it. So I'm going to be trying to kill it. I'll check this out. Miss. Come on, dude. So I'm trying to like chase it down. Of course, I've spotted the second one here. So I'm going to stop and try and shoot that. But the second shot actually misses as well. So I missed that BRDM completely. Thankfully, GenRa hasn't noticed. So I managed to at least get that one. Like, stress was through the roof right now in this game because I'm playing with just like pure aircraft shooting down all of his helicopters. I'm trying to like hold off against his position in my town whilst also harassing his backline with the AML-90s, and my AML-90s getting really unlucky, whereas like every time he was using AML-90s in the last game, they were hitting every single shot. So I was getting very, very frustrated. But thankfully, I'm still in the lead, still got the +4. AML-90 is going to be able to kill a BRDM-2 easily enough, because it doesn't really have the penetration. So goodbye to that. And actually, I think maybe the BRDM had its weapons turned off, but yeah, Mirage 2000C still flying around anyway. And I'm bringing up now a command to sneak into the backside of the sector because he has managed to get his BRDM up in here, which drove straight past my AML-90. So yeah, I want to contest the sector. I've got a couple of Legionnaire Pala. My plan was to basically just put it in the heavy cover here, so not in the town, so the Spetsnaz couldn't do anything about it. And now we got the Mirage 2000C going up against the third MiG. So going to be going up for the head-on. Unfortunately, my Mirage is going to fail that engagement. I've got another Mirage F1C coming in the meantime to try and kill that off. And my Jaguar is going to go for the bombing strike on where the BRDM was at that time. Mirage F1C in the meantime going to miss its air-to-air missile, so you can see where the frustration is coming from when I'm playing this game. The stress is coming from when I'm playing this game. I missed the BRDM, my AML-90 gets killed trying to get to it, my Mirage F1C fails to kill the MiG-29. Like, things are frustrating right now, but it's just tense, it's fun, it's like really giving me a big buzz. Legionnaire Pala get into position. I've got the Sapper Pala further back because I don't trust really moving too much further forwards because of the Spetsnaz being in position, and I've also spotted infantry on the far left side here, so I've got to be kind of careful. He manages to get a unit all the way up here. I do have Legionnaire Pala covering this command, and the way that I ended up playing this game was like I basically brought in commands and I would defend them locally. It wasn't like I would try and cover the entire front line like you would in Steel Division 2. I was covering all of my commands locally. So up here, I wasn't covering this part of the front line. I was just covering nearby, so that if he tried to snipe them with any particular unit that I hadn't spotted yet, then I was able to deal with that. Now, really nice Mirage F1CT kill there. Killed 2 Spetsnaz squads for me, so that's a pretty nice kill indeed. T-64B is just going to be chilling out on the left side though. And meanwhile, my Mirage F1C going to be doing a run out, as it did take some shots from the left side. But yeah, still got a couple of AML-90s in his backline, which is good. Covering him from capturing Juliet and Foxtrot. So still sitting at the +2, still building a lead. Legionnaire Pala going to take out the T-64. I did just buy a Jaguar cluster bomber to try and kill that, but the Legionnaire Pala actually beat me to it, so I'm going to use the Jaguar cluster to go for the BRDM on the back of the sector instead, just in case he's left it in this tree line. It's just kind of like a guess, to be honest. I didn't know it was there. But he's got 2 more Spetsnaz anyway. They're going to be pushing forwards, and as you can see, I didn't hit the mark with that cluster. I'm just trying to get more and more units into position before I get this commander forwards. So I've got Pala SAS there. He's also brought in another MiG, and you know that's the 3rd MiG, so I've got to try and take that out. Well, it could be the 4th MiG, but either way, it's really important that we take out these MiG-29s, so I'm focusing on getting those every time. Mistime the Mirage F1C a little bit, but I did just buy a Mirage 2000C as well. He's going to come back with 2 MiGs, and I'm going to bring in all of my MiGs, so I shoot down one of his MiGs. This MiG going to take out my Mirage F1C, so we traded a Mirage F1C for a MiG-29, but this is his last MiG. So I've now got my Mirage F1CT and the Mirage F1C coming in for the engagements, and they miss. They managed to only hit one of the missiles. So I end up having to buy another Mirage F1C just to shoot it down. Anyway, really, really good. And then on the way back, these Mirage F1Cs killed 2 of his helicopters. Like, it's just some crazy gameplay. Like, it's all about the aircraft. It really, really is. Meanwhile, these Legionnaire Pala, one of them manages to get through. One of them, I believe, got killed, or maybe that was just a miss. Yeah, it actually missed. So the Legionnaire Pala actually survived. I'm going to bring up a Puma pilot to help with that engagement. But we're now back to equal on command points, at least. As you can see, it's now, I'm 976 tickets ahead. He is at 0, but he's neutralized it because he captured Hotel. Now, in order to win, I need to get into Foxtrot. I need to get into Delta, really, because he's going to continuously contest this right-hand side. And we can see his BRDM coming into Delta, so I'm hoping to deal with that, but I need to get rid of these Desaniki, because otherwise he's kind of cutting off my reinforcements there. So I was trying to get the Mirage F1C to like strafe those, but it kept losing line of sight, so it couldn't really gun run properly. And I got mortar fire coming in from the VLRA PMBs here. They were just sitting on the edge of the tree line here, providing mortar fire onto these units. So Gazelle Cannon coming in with the Puma Pirate. I'm going to get the Mirage F1 CT to get out of there, so that I have it available when I need it. And meanwhile, this Gazelle Cannon just going to be riding around here, just checking for anything nearby. So he's now got the +1 advantage on me. He's got the capture on Delta. We're contested on the right-hand side. And things are starting to turn back into a more normal match. Yeah, autocannon's now firing away here, trying to take out that Desaniki squad. He does have the Streller up. Legionnaire Pada getting forced back by the Spetsnaz. And yeah, so basically the reason that this is a bad thing right now is because he's captured the center. If he captures Hotel and he captures Foxtrot and he manages to solidify his 50-50, it's going to be very difficult for me to push him out of here because of his Spetsnaz. So I'm currently at the moment just coming forwards with the Jaguar, looking for the bombing strike. I do see his BRDM using the Gazelle cannons, and I take that out. So just another cheeky CV snipe there, gets the job done. His Streller's missing my aircraft quite spectacularly, and yeah, great stuff. This Jaguar, for whatever reason, I hadn't evac'd it, so it's going to take another nice jaunt over all of his AA. Sapper Pada going to be falling back with the Legionnaire Pada. They're all low health, so I'm going to be bringing up some supply to try and resupply that. And yeah, again, this is when I realized the Jaguar is still in the battle, and thankfully it manages to get away with it. A Mirage F1 CT going to bomb this 85mm AT gun. I've had troubles with AT guns like this before, where they just constantly snipe my reinforcing roads, so just wanted to get rid of that. And on the right hand side I did spot another Mi-2, so I'm going to want to shoot that down as well. You see I'm microing that. And goodbye helicopter. So generally in the game so far I'm pretty happy with how I've traded. And like now I have like a really good air tab ready to go. The only bad thing about my air tab right now is that I wish I had less fighters. I wish I could like sell the fighters so that I could buy more bombers and stuff, because I know that I don't have to deal with his MiGs anymore. So having access to like more of the F1 CTs and like the HE Jaguars and cluster Jaguars and stuff would have been much better. Anyway, Gazelle Cannon's going to get taken out there. This Puma Pirate's been engaged by the Desaniki, but I've got some like Sapper Pada flamethrowers and the Legionnaire Pada coming in. They're going to be unloading early to push through towards the sector to maybe screen a push for a leader that would follow them. So I've also got an AMX or AML 90 links coming up here to support in the middle. The Afghansky was trying to move up to kill the Puma Pirate, but gets sniped by my Legionnaire Pada. And meanwhile, the Puma Pirate actually gets a good kill there onto the Desaniki because it's engaging from far enough away. I do spot his supply here, so going to be smashing that with some mortar rounds. And AML 90 is going to be covering the left side. Legionnaire Pada getting another kill, this time onto a T-64B. So a little bit of a mistake here from GenRa in the center, losing 2 units to that Legionnaire Pada. The thing about this mortar fire is it's not just really to kill the UAZ supply, it's also to damage the units that would potentially be fixed by it, so they aren't fixed by it pretty much. But yeah, on the right, double Pada SAS coming in. The main idea of these mortars is not necessarily to do damage with mortars, it's to smoke the SAS Pada as they push forwards, so that we can make use of the TNT. Now, since I still have the AML 90 links in the background, it's finally time to do something with them. I'm going to try again to get to the back line here, but I noticed that this was really low on fuel. It's only got 5 fuel left. So I actually set it up in a position to be able to snipe the road instead, whilst this AML-90 is going to go over and hunt into Juliet. F1CT coming in with the bombing strike does take out the Spetsnaz, and the Desarniki here are low enough for the Legionnaire Pala to kill them, so I'm actually able to hold my position in the middle of the sector here, using the Legionnaire Pala thanks to the air support, so that was pretty big. I kill a Conquers on the road, you can see the UAZ going down there. I've actually managed to get this AML-90 to move up as well. I managed to kill some of his Strelas there. So this is really going well for me. I'm currently waiting for my Sapper Pala and Legionnaire Pala to move forwards here and clean this out so that my Sapper Pala leader can move through into Delta and cap that so we can get the +3. Because currently it's still, you know, even. Yeah, the AML-90 is just running riot in his backline now. Going to be killing, or hopefully killing, another Strela there. Going to be hunting that down for sure. Also, this AML-90 in the background does get eyes onto the BRDM briefly. But here comes the smoke. So the first set of smoke coming in. Looking for that UAZ supply, and I'm also going to be firing at the other unit behind it. Yeah, this AML-90 currently hunting for the command. This one's still chilling on the road back there. He did manage to get a command into the sector in the center, so that is putting him at a +3. Yeah, here goes my little push. 3 Pala SAS, 2 Legionnaire Pala with the Sapper Flamethrower. These guys, these Pala SAS, they have the SIGs, the mini-me, and the satchels. The satchel is the important part here. I didn't really used to rate satchels until Protoss told me of a strategy that Karma uses, where he smokes like this in order to advance his close range infantry. And as you can see, you're always going to be in range, or at least close to range, to use the satchels. That's basically the idea there. I brought in a couple of bombers to bomb the back line, kill the T-64s, kill the AA, so I actually bombed the AA directly. I do spot the Desarniki there, so not able to really do anything. This Mirage F1CT unfortunately didn't have an order to evac, but still manages to just about get away with it. Meanwhile on the right hand side, VLR8 going to be getting some 50 cal fire onto the Desarniki BMD. We take out one of the Desarniki in the town, so that was really good. Mirage F1C comes in for the strafing run. Does manage to shoot down another helicopter, just getting rid of any helicopters we can get. That one does get killed though by enemy AA. So Pala SAS at close range with Spetsnaz do manage to win the engagement there, which was really big. Managed to shoot down enemy helicopter, looking for another bombing strike onto his command. If he's still got it in the corner there. This time around, no such luck. And the Jaguar goes down. Should have probably known better. Anyway, my command is still chilling up here. Still waiting for a good opportunity to move that in. Meanwhile, do manage to capture his UAZ. But yeah, look. I'm going through the smoke, I'm bumping into his units, and at close range we can just drop the demolition charges on them. So here's Desarniki having a real hard time right now, getting pushed out by my elite infantry. And I'm going to get my VLRA logistics to move forwards and get them fixed up. So I've actually managed to clean out this right side much better than I expected using the smoke strategy. So something definitely to keep an eye out, guys, for in the future. And maybe do yourselves as well. Got a couple extra units coming in now towards the center. Legionnaire Pala. Just want to make sure that the routes towards the center are clear before I bring up my command. I've also got the ERC 90 Sages. Now one thing that I did do with my deck this time around is I actually made sure to add an extra card of commands so that I couldn't get caught out like I did in the last game. Anyway, Legionnaire Pala thankfully had some Appala shots left, so I managed to force back the BMD2s, but he managed to capture 2 of my logistics trucks because the Pala SAS died to the BMD2s before they managed to retreat. So a little bit unfortunate. What was a very good push kind of got shut down by those APCs, so that was unfortunate. I'm just going to be YOLOing these at him because I don't want them. Pretty much. He's going to be shooting them and killing them. Anyway, in a nice position here, just making sure that I clean this out as best I can. I've also got an AML-90 moving up, but the BMD spots it first, gets the kill. BRDM trying to help out with a little bit of fire there. I'm going to move back slightly so I can get the Sapper Palo with the flamethrower involved as well. And overall, we do have a good engagement here for my infantry. I've also got the Sergeys now arriving, and I've got the Legionnaire Palo on the way. I'm still at a +3. I'm still in a bit of a difficult position. There's a lot of work to do, and if he can get enough AA up, and now he's killed off my AML-90s as well, it's going to be difficult for me to push conventionally. So that's why I'm bringing up so many of these Sergeys at the same time, so that I can just brute force my way through any T-64Bs he has. He's also managed to secure Foxtrot now, so yeah, things not looking too great, that's for sure. I brought up a couple more infantry units on the right hand side, Group Ancha and the Sapper Palo. At this point I was getting low on the Palo SAS, so I couldn't really rely on that so much, but I did manage to kill the T-64B in the middle, and the AML-90 Lynx is going to be accompanying those. BMD-2 going to be able to take out one of the Sergeys. Fortunately, doesn't take out a second. Now I'm going to be bringing up the command, moving that in, and I'm also going to be finding his command, so that was really good. Find the Strela on the left, that's a good kill. And whilst I push his leader out, I secure this with my own. So that is actually a big swing. Take out the AT gun, looking for the Afghansky as well. And I'm at a +1 once again. Got the Gazelle cannons coming over to help me with this push. Just going to destroy everything and anything that I can see. And just fully secure. Send here. And yeah, these Gazelle cannons are pretty much hunting down the leader. So BMD-2 going to be able to get shots onto my cannon there, take that out. This one also in a pretty bad position. Shouldn't have had them on an attack move really, I should have just had them on a move order, but the SU-25 going to be able to shoot that second one down, but I did manage to catch up to his recon squad, so I was pretty happy with that. Double F1C coming in to shoot down the SU-25. We're going to take that out. Take that out the sky. I don't want to see that anymore. Thank you very much. Descent Sapperday going to be able to absolutely blitz my Group Antichar because I jump into range of them. And same with my Sapper Palo here. Just going to be getting a little bit too close because I was microing all of this stuff on the left side. I've got the ARC-90 Sergei just like running all the way up into his spawn there, or into his cap point, and I've got these ones going over the hill looking to the backside of this sector. Now this Legionnaire Palo did manage to kill the Afghansky, managed to catch out one of the infantry squads, so bit of a hero play from the Legionnaire Palo holding up the reinforcements. But yeah, both those infantry squads on the right side did go down, and I'm going to have to bring up another two because I wasn't really paying attention. I'm also bringing up a couple of these aeromobiles now because I was kind of getting low on infantry. So yeah, things are not so great. Managed to get a nice cheeky Apalas kill there. That's good. And every time making sure to unload and sell my transports just so I have the income to keep this going. HE Jaguar going to be on the way shortly. There's 3 Spetsnaz squads here. If I can kill those, that'd be fantastic. I do not want them to get into the heavy cover because they'll be very difficult to get rid of. Legionnaire Palo still doing damage to these units, which is great. Although it's just used up its last Apalas, but he doesn't know that, thankfully. So there goes the Jaguar. And I managed to take out one of the Spetsnaz at least and damage the other severely. Another aeromobile being moved up. I know there's no like AA to stop my units so much here. I've moved up. AML-90 going to have a go at this unit, which turns out to be the commander, the T-64BVK. Well, it's going to be strong enough to deal with both of my armoured vehicles at least, so no command snipe for me. Meanwhile, the RC-90 Sergei still just given orders to run around the sector and find the command. And my Super Puma, I decided to send that over to the left because that has an Apalas. So if they can get close enough to the commander, I can kill it. I also bring up the Jaguar with the cluster, but he's been smart and he's moved it. So I'm not going to be able to find the cluster kill this time around. Spetsnaz now moving into position. I'm going to be able to move forwards my Sapper Palo with the flamethrower. And and try and engage those. Although for whatever reason, my Sapper Pala didn't have line of sight on the Spetsnaz. It was really weird. They're just getting chewed up for no reason. On the left side, Su-25 is gonna be coming for my aeromobiles. Did manage to get one infrared missile onto the Mi-2, so it took it down to 1 health. I was really hoping the aeromobiles could kill the Mi-2 before the Su-25 gets the strafing run off. It was super important. Meanwhile, Legionnaire does kill a BMD-2 that pushes up to my spawn. We got MiG-27 coming in with the HE bombs. I'm managing to dodge that with my commander on the hill here. Now the Mirage, well, it probably could have gone for the kill onto the MiG-27 there. I bring a Mirage F1C out of the spawn to go for this one. We're able to shoot that one at least. So that's good. Spetsnaz getting low on health on this right hand side. Legionnaire Pala going to be moving up to help deal with the UAZs over here. Aeromobiles managed to survive. But it's still a +2 in his favour because I haven't got the cap on the mid sector yet. Again. I'm looking for his unit on the left. And you can see that my transport Super Puma is flying around looking for his command. It's really cheeky. Legionnaire Pala, meanwhile, going to go down in the town. Descent Sapperly against Sapper Flamethrower. Unfortunately, the Descent Sapperly actually pretty good in this situation because of the satchels. The Super Puma is going to go down. My Mirage F1C comes with a bombing strike but doesn't get the kill because it's a tank. So it does tank the damage. And my aeromobiles are just going to have to slowly work their way back. I'm bringing up a Jaguar with HE bombs as well, Dabago. But as you'll see, no such luck. Yep, things are getting crazy. Gazelle cannons moving across to have a look for the command. This is just like the playstyle of this division. I didn't even realize before I played it. I'd never ever played the 11E in a 1v1 before this game. Which was the most silly thing. So I'm learning like how cheesy this gameplay is. It's ridiculous. Like the Gazelle cannons here taking out the Matrazvedka. Like I'm using the Super Puma transports to like snipe his CV. Like I can just move this forwards and then I can bring in like the Mirage F1CT to just bomb his command. So there we go. Just spotted it back here. BRDM to you. I can see the T-64 on the left, so found that with the aeromobiles. The aeromobiles actually missed 3 Appalachian shots before they got the last shot on target. I was actually stressing out big time with the RNG on that aeromobile. It was nuts. Anyway, do manage to get the kill, thank God. So that's gone down. He's bringing up a BMD-2 here, but I got another aeromobiles. I got an aeromobiles managing to fly through the middle as well to this sector, so he does have an Afghansky there though this time around, so that Super Puma ain't getting anywhere. The Super Puma is going to be able to stay alive long enough for me to try and get a strafing run, but loses line of sight just in time. Now I'm bringing in the F1CT bombers. I believe he hid it in this compound, so just go for the bombs there, and finally I'll take it out. I probably didn't need to use 2 Mirage F1CTs in the same place, but hey, better safe than sorry. We're on a +5. Things as ridiculous as ever. This Legionnaire Pala getting some nice kills here as well. BRM trying to kill my aeromobiles. And I've got 2 Puma Pirates now coming up to engage those. I've also got some ERC-90 Sages that I was hoping could engage those units from a distance, but with the +5 on the board, it's going pretty well. And I've also got this aeromobil now at the backside of the sector. That's pretty scary for him. Meanwhile, Pala SAS going to be moving in from the front side of the sector. Unfortunately, Desaniki Met is going to be able to take out the VLRAs. But yeah, the Puma Pirates able to deal with the BMD-2. And this aeromobile on this side almost got the Appalachian shot off. But he's pushing hard with the units that he's got in Alpha to get to my commander right now. This F1CT, I should have had evac earlier. Anyway, Legionnaire Pala going to go down. He does put a command into the backside of this sector. As soon as he does, I have the HE bomber in the sky, so we're going straight for the bombing strike. He's trying to basically slow down my lead right now, pretty much. So he doesn't want it to be a +5, he's quite happy with it just being a +2. My bomber doesn't get the job done there, though, and I didn't queue the evac order, so a bit of a mistake on my part. Now the Descent Sapele and Descent Niki BMD do manage to find the Sapapala, but I turned off the FAMAS and I do a little bit of runner, get the ERC 90s into a position. On the left, Descent Niki Rozvedka, or Descent Rozvedka do go down, but both my pilot SAS die trying to get into the side of that thing. Now the bomber did hit the mark here, as you can see, but it ended up being a T-64 BVK again, so didn't end up killing that just yet. Now I've got more Puma Pirates coming in on the right hand side to kind of surround the town and stop any infantry that's like coming out of the town heading towards my leader. I just need to kill whatever's left in here as well, so I can move my commander back in and get the lead. So Jaguar now going to be coming in with the strike instead to try and kill his tank if it's there, and it hits the mark. Lovely jubbly. It does take one hit from the Strela, but that's going to be a +3 in my advantage. I managed to kill his infantry that was close to mine, so I'm going to be able to move the Sapapala back into the sector. And GenRa realizes it's a bit too close to the end, so 35 minutes and 11 seconds. Managed to control the game just long enough to get that victory. 7,690 kills, 5,425 losses. An absolutely mental game once again. Just incredible. Incredible. Like, it was just what he did to me, I did to him at the start of that game, and it was hilarious. And then we moved into this whole like cat and mouse gameplay with CVs and aircraft. The key to that game though was shooting down all of the Mi-20 or all of the MiGs. Like as soon as I kill all the MiGs, I have such a huge advantage in the sky, and I can use these like Mirage F1 CTs to completely abuse the 35th because their AA is terrible. Like they have the Strelas which only have 40% accuracy. They've got like Iglas and Skrezets and Afghanskis, like they're all like short range. So you can actually like direct attack those AA pieces with your own aircraft, and that's what I did in some cases here. But yeah, just check this out. Like early on, that Mirage F1C didn't really do too well. That was unfortunate, as the MiG did manage to shoot that down. The AML 90s getting a few kills, not as many as his did. I didn't actually manage to find many commands with his or with my AML 90s, unfortunately, but I managed to find like one BRDM that I shot with one of the AML 90s, and it should have killed the other one, but I don't know how that managed to miss 2 shots. Ridiculous. Anyway, Mirage F1 CT, look at this. Mi-24 killed loads of Spetsnaz for me, killed the BRDM there, finally. The Mirage F1C taking down Mi-24, Mi-8T, Su-25 and a MiG-27. This one killing the Mi-24, this was the UAZ that it strafed and it killed the Descent Sapele. Then we had like the Legionnaire Palas doing pretty well, cleaning up the T-64 and the BMD-2s that were on the right side, that was. The cluster Jaguar taking out an Afghansky, so again an example of me just like direct bombing the Afghansky and the BRDM, and then also the T-64. Took out those MiG-29s with those F1Cs. It was really, really important. Pilot SAS beating Spetsnaz. This is very important to note. HE satchels will still beat RPO infantry at close range because the Spetsnaz will run out, and the Pilot SAS are way more efficient. So it's actually really nice to trade Pilot SAS into Spetsnaz. And you can do it with all sorts of like close range TNT infantry. Anyway, Legionnaire Pala doing a good job for me as well throughout. And then we have the aeromobiles covering my ass when I was running out of infantry. And I was also like sneaking them into the back line so that, yeah, the T-64 BVK going down to that aeromobile. Super important kills. This Descent Rozvedka, this slaughtered all my infantry at the start. Like my start in this game was so bad. I'm surprised I didn't get punished way harder. But I think he equally had a pretty tough start, especially when his infantry on the right side got cleaned out for the most part. But yeah, BMD-2. going to be getting lots of kills onto my AMR 90s and stuff. Particularly the Para SAS, like they can't defend themselves against BMD2s because they don't have any ATA. But yeah, his start was not great either, because I got a couple early kills with the CT, and then he had like the remainder of like 4 infantry squads in my sector at the start. So technically he was better off than I was, but yeah. What a game. What a game. It was like at some points really stressful, but then like I kind of realized after I killed all of the MiGs that I was like kind of home free to a certain extent, because I could like use my helicopters freely without having to worry about them being shot down by MiGs, and his AA is kind of crappy, so I had good like helicopter support. Well, I say good helicopter support, decent helicopter support. And yeah, I could use those Gazelle recons to spot his commands and then just bomb them or whatever I wanted to do, pretty much. I had very much free reign throughout this game, and he would have had to invest a lot into infrared AA to shoot down a lot of my aircraft, and it was just not really feasible for him to do without losing ground on the front line. So that's pretty much what it became. Yeah. Mental game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. That leaves me at 2-0 against GenRa, which means I went 6-0 in the WARNO group stage. I am moving on to the playoffs in the first seed, and I will reveal that I'm going to be playing against Mr. President in a best of 3 in the playoffs. So this will be an interesting one. We'll see how it goes. That's it for now though. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.